Welcome, everyone. I'm Tanisha Curtis with WriterWorks University, and this is going to be a super short mini talk with Dave Sheets about the 3 need-to-know book printing methods that he wants to explore with you very quickly. So just as a reminder, this is just one of the perks of being a registered attendee for the Atlanta Self-Publishing Conference. Here at WriterWorks University, we are handling a lot of the logistics regarding the conference itself. So you're going to see programs and you're going to see different kind of swag bags and materials that we'll have available for you at the conference. As a reminder, this is a presentation of the Atlanta Writers Club. AtlantaWritersClub.org is where you can go to find out more information about that. And AtlantaSelfPublishingConference.com is where you can go to learn more about the conference and to actually register and buy your ticket for this year's conference. So without much further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dave Sheets, and he is going to give us a lot of wonderful, awesome information very quickly. Go for it, Dave.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here with you guys. Looking forward to seeing you in person in Atlanta here in a couple of weeks. My specialty is working with independent authors. I've been in the industry for 26 years, just dated myself. I've worked in lots of different facets of the industry. I started in traditional publishing. I have worked in book printing. I have worked in book distribution. I've worked in book retail in the last 13 years, exclusively with independent authors. And one of our specialties, obviously, is printing. That's what I'm going to be talking about today, as well as at the conference. And one of the myths that I like to dispel right away when I have these conversations is that not every printer is created equal. You may talk to a book printer and they say they're a book printer and they probably do a great job at parts of the book printing process, but not every book printer can print every book or every type of book or every, specialty binding, those types of things. So it's really important to know and understand what your book printer that you're talking to, what their capabilities are. So I'm going to briefly talk about the 3 types of printing, broad categories, major categories that you need to know about. A lot of the authors that I work with certainly have asked these types of questions. And so typically I know that there are other people out there that have the same questions. Number 1, we hear the term print on demand, or POD, which is simply digital printing one book at a time. So print on demand, you go to a place like Amazon, KDP, and they're selling the book and they print that book on demand as it's sold and shipped out. That is certainly one way of printing. Typically, the options for that sort of printing are pretty narrow because the equipment that is doing that particular printing just can't utilize all the different bells and whistles that the larger presses can use. So digital printing is really an amazing way of keeping inventory down, printing those books as they're being sold or as they're needed. And so that's really kind of the lowest quantity option in the printing industry. The next 2 options are what we call short run printing and long run printing. Short run printing is simply printing more books on the same digital equipment that you use for print on demand. So it's using the same equipment, the same process, all of those types of things, which also means that a lot of times those bells and whistles, maybe some of those cover treatments that you see are just not available in that short run. Typically, when you're working with a printer, short run means anything less than 500 units being printed at the same time. So that, for some authors, is more than they need. And so those particular authors, if that's you're kind of going to be in that short run category until you have the sort of demand to start considering what we call the long run printing. So short run, again, is the same as print on demand. It's the same equipment. It's just the number of units that you're printing that makes the difference. Long run printing is where you start to get into a lot of those bells and whistles and options and all of those types of things. Again, we define long run printing typically as anything over 500 units. So you can print 500 units or 1,000 units or 10,000 units. I just had a client that printed 120,000 units of a book because he had the sale already in place for those books, and so it made sense. Long run is where you can get into things like embossing and debossing and foil stamping on hardcovers and things like dust jackets and all those types of things. Even dust jackets can be done in a short run environment on digital presses. But in most cases, all of those bells and whistles are really reserved for those long run printing options. So those are really the three types of printing, not terribly complicated, but it's always good to understand what that terminology means as you might be looking for print options in the future for your own books, or maybe you're helping somebody along those lines. Hopefully that helps. You understand that process a little bit more. And I'm happy to take questions if there are any. And we'll just open the floor right now for those questions.